All good.
All right, then. Now we'll start from PC. Okay. So according to the IP address which we have placed outside, we'll configure the topology. So I'll go to the PC first see and then configure. Go to the PC and desktop and IP configuration and configure the IP address 10002 tab. This will get you the subnet mask and tab 10001 is the gateway. Right. Similarly, I will go to second PC 10003 tab tab 10001. All right. Similarly, I
Okay.
will go to here also. First watch and then do so that you understand everything. 192.168.1.2 tab 192.168.1.1. Similarly, for this PC also 192.168.1.3, 192.168.1.1. Okay, so now it's your turn.
Okay.
Now you configure the IP address in the same way. Okay, it is here. So as per the diagram, you also configure the IP address. PC desktop IP configuration in here like this.
Yeah, good to go.
All right, done.
Yes.
Now, so now it's time to configure the router. So now what I want to do is I want to do to configure the router. I want to give host name that India and to this interface and this interface I want to give the IP address. All right. So now let's see how to give the
Uh,
IP address and all. So first watch and then configure. I'll give you time. So I'll click on the router. I'll go to CLI. Okay, CLI stands for command line interface. All right. It is asking yes or no. So I will type no and press enter. This is called user mode. All right. This sign indicate the
yeah.
user mode. So I log in into the router to configure the router, but this is the first mode, which is the user mode. And you through user mode, I cannot configure anything. I just I can just check anything about the router. Okay. So what I have
Yeah.
to do to configure the router? So to configure the router, I have to go in global configuration mode. But to go in global configuration mode, we first have to cross the user mode and privilege mode. All right. So this is
All
the
right.
user mode, and first you have to go in privilege mode. So from user mode to go in privilege mode, the command is enable. Okay, and we don't have to type everything. We just use the tab button. ENA and tab. Press tab, so it comes enable. All right, and
Okay.
then press enter. So the design change from greater than sign to less than sign to hash. So the hash means we are into the privilege mode. So privilege mode is also a mode where we cannot configure anything, but we can check anything about the router. So if you want to check anything about the router, let's say if you want to check the routing table, if you want to check the configuration, if you want to check anything about the router, then you have to use the privilege mode. All right. But you cannot do the configuration from this mode. So to do the configuration from this, you go to global configuration mode and the command is configure terminal. So CONF and press tab, configure T and press tab terminal. So this is how you can go to global configuration mode. Now, if you want to go back, one step back, so the command is exit. So if I type exit, I'll go back to privilege mode. If I type exit again, I will go to user mode again. All right. So now
Yeah.
what I will do, I want to configure the router. So what I will do is I will just go to global configuration mode and start configuring the router, right? So this is the user mode. I will type enable. So this is come to privilege mode. I will type configure terminal or you can use short form conft, configure terminal or conft. So see, I enter the global configuration mode. This is the sign of global configuration mode, and this is a sign of privilege mode, and this is a sign of user mode. All right. So now when I enter into the global configuration mode, the first thing I'll do is I'll change the name. See, the default name is router and I want to change the name to India. So the command is host name. You don't have to write everything, you just give HOS and press tab. So it will automatically come. So host name India. So see the host name changed from router to India. Right. Now I want to configure this interface and this interface because it is showing red means it is down. Okay, so I want to give IP address and I want to up this port. So to do this thing, I have to go in this particular interface. So how to go in interface? The command is interface gigabit Ethernet 0/0. The port number is very much important because if you connect the link on 0/0 and give IP address to 0/1, so that will be a huge mistake. Your topology will not work. So that is why port number is very much important. So make sure that you are giving IP address to correct port number. In this scenario, my port number is gigabit 0/0 and this IP address I want to configure. So I will give command interface gigabit Ethernet 0/0. This is the command to go in interface, to go inside the interface. So when I press enter, see the sign changing from conf to config. Config if means you have entered into a global configuration mode. All right.
Yeah.
Now, why I enter into the global configuration mode? To give the IP address. So the command is IP address, and I'll give this IP address here 10.0.0.1. Subnet mask is it is /8. So subnet mask will be 255.0.0.0. Now I have given the IP address. Now I want to up this port because it is showing red color and down. It means the port is currently shut down. So I want to up the port. I want to start the port. So the command is no shutdown. No shutdown. As soon as I hit the enter button, this becomes green. See here, enter. See now this port becomes up. All right. So now
Okay, yeah.
you configure till here. You configure till here, and you also have the port. I'm waiting. All right. So now we have configured this port, right? And the interface is showing up, right? So now I'll press enter.
Yeah.
So still I am this interface because it is showing config if. Now I want to exit from this interface. Why? Because I want to go to this interface. All right. So that is why I will give command exit, because I want to exit from this interface and I want to go to this interface and give IP address, right? So I will go, and
Yeah.
you can use up arrow key button, so you don't have to write again and again, and just edit this and one. So now this time I have entered in gigabit 0/1, which is this, right? And it is changed from config to config. Now I will configure the IP address 172.16.0.1, 255.255.00, and this is also down, and this will be down because on router to router we have to give no shutdown command on both the sides. Okay, see, so when I
Okay.
give no shutdown here, then it becomes the green. Okay, so now I will up this port. I will say no shutdown. So it becomes up, but it will not going to green. Okay, now what I will do, I will just exit from this interface, and I want to configure, I want to save the configuration. So to save the configuration, I
Mhm.
have to go in global configuration privilege mode. Okay, you first do configure this thing, then we'll do. This is the first practical, so that is why I'm going very slowly.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. So now I want to save the configuration. So to save the configuration, we have to go in privilege mode. So right now we are in interface mode. So I'll try exit. There is a shortcut also, but that I will show you next command. So first I'm going to show you the proper way. Exit. So I came in global config mode. Exit. So I'll back in privilege mode. So now here in privilege mode, if you want to save the configuration, then there is two command. You can use only one. One is short command, which is called write. Write. So this will save the configuration. Another one is copy RUN tab, running config ST tab, startup config, enter, enter. So there are two commands. Mostly we are using write command. All right.
Okay.
So now you also just exit and save the configuration. You can use any one, either write command or this command. You don't have to use both the command. So most probably we are using this. All right. You just have to exit and come to privilege mode and write to save the configuration.
I try right. It was all good. Then I
All
try
right.
to use copy running config to startup config.
Yes.
It gave me a error message. I'm sorry.
No, so you are doing mistake. Just use the tab button. See here. Copy RUN tab. ST tab. You have to press the tab because this is such a long command. So we cannot configure manually. So use the tab and enter. So to avoid the mistake, use the tab button in your laptop. Write any command and two, three words and press tab. It will automatically come.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right. So now we have configured the India router, right?
Yeah.
Now it's time for the US router. So in US router, what I have to do is, so I'll go to this router, I'll configure the host name, and I have two ports, gigabit 0 and gigabit 1. In the same way, I will give you the IP address, right?
Yes.
So just watch and then configure. I'll give you time. Don't worry. So I'll go to CLI. It is asking yes or no. So I will type no. I will type no. Enter. This is user mode. Enable. Here I'll add configure terminal. I'll give host name USA interface gigabit. This is a short form 0/0 IP address 192.168.1.1 255.255.255.0. No shutdown. So this brings the up and I'll exit from here. I'll go to another port 0/1. I'll give IP address 172.16.0.2 255.255.0.0 and no shutdown. And I want to save the configuration. So the shortcut key to go in privilege mode is Control Z. Control Z is a shortcut key. So I came in privilege mode and right. Okay, I'm just maximizing this. Okay, the configuration is in front of you. Okay, so now it's your turn to configure. Please configure. I'm waiting.